With crossover breakers right around the corner, a certain archetype inside of this pack is making a lot of prices Ryzeal, especially of the rank 4s across the board. And starting off with one of the cards whose prices has spiked the most, that is number 103, Ragna Zero. And now, while Ragna Zero is an older card, its effect is quite useful, being able to detach during either player's turn to destroy one monster whose attack is different from its original attack. And then if you do, you draw one card. And we're seeing that with a lot of attack changes in the current metagame, that the Ragna Zero is played in the Ryzeal deck. And the prices of this card have actually spiked. We're seeing that it is literally about $20 to $25 if you want to pick up the super rare from Astral Pack 7. And if you don't happen to have the super rare, the rare is shot up as well. When we go over to the rare from Primal Origin, we're seeing for near mints, they're literally $10 as well. And there are no LPs on the market as of now. So if you want anything that doesn't have damage, you are shelling out $10 for that Ragna Zero. And again, the effect is actually usable in the current format. And I do see the prices kind of holding a little bit more solid, given that this archetype is not set to release until December. So the players out there that think you might have these in your collection or in some of the bulk for the rare, you might want to go through and look to see what kind of copies you have. And if you're not looking to play this deck, you will definitely want to be able to get a pretty penny for these cards while their prices are spiked up. But following suit and a rank higher is number 104, Masquerade. And given that this card was only a rare out of Judgment of the Light, this is actually reflected very much so in its price. So we're seeing that for light plays, you are literally paying about $13 a piece for them, okay? Unless you get that 11 up there. And then once you go down the path, we're seeing about $15 for unlims, and then the near mint first eds are about $15 as well, to 20s on the next page. And now we see that the Masquerade takes 3 level 4 monsters, but this is exceedingly easy for the Ryzeal deck to do. And during either player's battle phase, when an opponent's monster effect is activated, you can detach one exceeded material from this card, negate the activation, and if you do, you inflict 800 damage to your opponent, okay? And once per turn, you can send the top card of your opponent's deck to the graveyard. So not only is that first effect not a hard once per turn, but with Tempai being still in the meta game, we are seeing that Masquerade is an amazing card sided against that deck, as well as many other decks that utilize effects during the battle phase. So much like Ragna Zero, if you have Masquerade in your collection binder, now might be the time to be digging these copies out. And now following suit with the other Astro Pack cards, we're seeing quite the increase in price. If you want LPs, they're about $7 to $8 a piece, but once you dip into the near mint area, you're looking at about $8 to $9, pushing towards that $10 mark. And that's because Rhapsody and Berserk has actually quite the unique ability, because up to twice per turn, you can detach material from the Berserk to banish a card out of the opponent's graveyard. And then not only that, but once it has no materials, or even if it does, you can actually take it and equip it to one of your face-up exceed monsters, and then that monster gains 1200 attack. So not only do you get to interrupt your opponent's graveyard with the Berserk, but then you get to enforce your other exceed monsters on the board and increase their attack. And that is why we're seeing many players actually utilizing the Rhapsody of Berserk in their extra decks. And the last exceed on today's list is none other than Diamond Dire Wolf, and that is the secret rare from Cosmo Blazer. And now Diamond Dire Wolf has seen quite the increase in price as well, given that the secret rare is the highest rarity right now of this card. And we're seeing if you want light plays or near mints, you are paying into that $20 price range, okay? And then once you slap that near mint first edition on there, well, actually that's kind of crazy, because it jumps from literally $25 to $100. So I'm not too certain what the last paid first ed is, and it's looking at about $40 right here. 30s once you go a couple days ago. So if you have any secret rare copies of the Diamond Dire Wolf. Now might be the time to be getting them out of the collection and dusting them off. And if you're looking to play any of these Exceeds in the Ryzeal build that you want to play, you are definitely wanting to keep a lookout on these cards, hopefully for the cheaper end, because their prices are shooting up. And it's yet to be determined if these prices will increase or if they'll settle down a little bit, because we know that this set does not drop until December 6th. And that has quite a lot of time between now and then. But going into counter for the Ryzeal deck, we got a number one card that we've been shouting from the rooftop, and that is Stygian Dirge. And this card is a Lost Art promotion card, so we're dealing with the ultra rare. And if you want a copy of the ultra rare Stygian Dirge, you are looking to be paying about $3 to $4 right now. And there are a couple sellers that actually do have multiple copies, but once we get to page 2, the price does go up a little bit to about $4 to $5 a piece, and then it does spike at the end, but those are the ones at the very end. We know how that goes. So for the ultra rare Stygian Dirge, this is actually a very nice card we've been talking about on the channel for quite some time, given that the commons of this card did shoot up in price, as well as all the Duelist League rares with the different colors. But being able to reduce the level of all monsters your opponent controls by 1 will actually put a nail in the coffin against the Ryzeal deck, and many of them cannot play once they're forced to go into the rank 3 engine. So if you're looking for a cheap alternative to side against the Ryzeal matchup, the Stygian Dirge is definitely up your alley. And the last card on today's list is "And the Band Played On." And that is because neither player can special summon monsters of the same level or the same rank as the monsters they already control. So if they already have a level 4, they can't summon a level 4. If they already have a rank 4 out there, they can't summon any more rank 4s. So this will lock them into their primary level 4 summon or their primary Exceed. And then once they have that one monster on the board, kind of like a goes in a rivalry, they're going to be locked out of special summoning any more monsters of that current level or rank if they got the Exceed monster already on the board. And since this is an ultra rare from Primal Origins as a limited edition card, these are actually decently priced, okay? So for less than $2, you can get a light played or a near mint one just for buying from one seller. And then once you go to page 2, there are a couple sellers with multiple copies of these cards. This gentleman even has 6 light played ones. So, and we'll see that actually kind of continued. So if you want to get a playset from one seller, it is definitely doable. And again, once you pay the upfront shipping, get a couple copies, and you're good to go. Get your playset from one seller, and you're literally paying like $4 for your $4 or $5 for a playset of "And the Band Played On." And then once this catches on, and players realize that activating this against the Ryzeal deck could potentially be an easy GG, you're definitely going to be noticing the price of this card spike in the very near future. And if you're wanting to see other cards that are spiking in price, or just see the top 10 cards that you should be picking up for September, definitely check out the videos above. But as always, guys, stay safe, have a good night, and suck it, nerds.